Hello everyone! Today, we will be discussing about critical reading and creative writing strategies. So let us first define critical reading. So it is a reading with the goal of having a deeper understanding of the material that you are reading. It goes further than just being satisfied with what the text says. It is to analyze and evaluate what you read as you make your way through the text or as you reflect back upon your reading. So, what should we reflect on? So we should reflect on what the text says. After reading a piece critically, you must be able to paraphrase and take note of the key points. Second, what the text describes. So you should have the confidence that you have a deep understanding of the text by being able to provide your own examples, compare and contrast with other writing on the subject in hand. So we have here the process for reading critically. First is analysis. It means looking at the parts of the text to detect patterns. The reader analyzes the arguments the author is making. Second is interpretation. So it is reading ideas and sentences. The reader should be aware of the cultural and historical context of the author's life. The third is evaluation. It means making judgments about the intellectual or cognitive, aesthetic, moral, or practical value of the text. So the reader evaluates a text by asking and getting answer to the questions, that is, how well does the text does and what is its value. Now let us go to the 7 critical reading strategies. First is previewing. So it is learning about a text before really reading it. Second is contextualizing. It is placing a text in its historical, biographical, and cultural context. Third is questioning to understand and remember. So it is asking questions about the content. Next is reflecting on challenges to your beliefs and values. It involves examining your personal responses. Next is outlining and summarizing. It involves identifying the main ideas and restating them in your own words. Next is evaluating an argument. So it is testing the logic of a text as well as its credibility and emotional impact. Next is reflecting on challenges to your beliefs and values. So it involves exploring likenesses and differences between texts to understand them better. So in conclusion, critical reading is a more active way of reading. It is a deeper and more complex engagement with the text. Readers should become the writer's audience. Now, let us go to creative writing. So what is creative writing? So it is an original writing that expresses ideas and thought in an imaginative way. It is primarily about creating emotional effects and significance. So what are the types of creative writing? We have epics, novels, poems, screenplays, short stories, songs, and television scripts. So what is its purpose? So it is to both entertain and share human experience like love or loss. It is to create new meanings and frame them with words that most suit their demeanor. Now let us go to the strategies in creative writing. First is write about what you know. Beginning writers always get told write what you know, but it's good advice. Use settings, characters, background and language that you're already familiar with and create new stories from the world that you already know. So this is like using research you've already done. And remember, your background, what you bring to the act of writing, is as valid as what anyone else can bring. Next is write about what you don't know. Use your imagination to create new situations, new characters, new relationships, even new worlds. Choose to write about a different period in history or a place that you're not familiar with. Where your imagination needs help, fill in the gaps with the research. The best thing about being a creative writer is creating. Next is read widely and well. Writers love reading. Make yourself familiar with the published landscape of writing in your chosen field, whether it's modern poetry, literary fiction, thrillers, short stories, or fantasy. Nothing encourages good writing like reading good writing. Next is hook your readers. Nobody is forced to read your novel or short story, so it's important to hook readers right away. Your opening sentence or paragraph should encourage them to continue, perhaps by making them laugh or exciting their curiosity, or just making them want to find out what happens next. Next is get your characters talking. So we find out about the people we meet through what they say to us, how they say it, their choice of words, their accents, their verbal habits. Readers should be able to do the same with fictional characters. Next is show rather than tell. Too much description, too many adjectives and adverbs can slow up your narrative and cause your readers to lose interest. Where possible, it's better to show your readers what a person, the atmosphere in the room, the relationship between your characters is like. Show, that is, by what they say, how they interact, what they do. It's more effective than telling the reader through wordy piles of information. This is a tricky one. You have to do some telling, so it's important not to become obsessive about avoiding it. Next is get it right first time. So try to get your first draft as near perfect as possible. Few writers manage this kind of quality the first time, but no one ever wrote great literature by aiming low. On the contrary, aim for the best and do your best from the very start. Next is keep polishing. If you don't get it right the first time, you can do what most writers do. Polish and perfect through the editing process. Don't make the mistake of thinking that editing is the same as proofreading. It's about much more than correcting errors. Rather, editing involves carefully going through your work to see what to leave out, what to change, finding out what you have to do to improve your writing, make it sharper, tidier, and better. Thank you for listening.